Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to DJ Chat on Monday night. We are back. We've got the crew, and we are ready to talk about interesting, exciting, and entertaining things, or not.
Of course we are.
Okay.
Guys, it was Thanksgiving last week. Let's run around the circle real quick. Just a quick little thing, how your Thanksgiving was and something you learned from being with family over Thanksgiving. Arnaldo, you're in the upper left corner. Go ahead. You start us out.
Oh man. Actually, I had a very uneventful Thanksgiving, and I mean that in a good way. It was just mostly just our family. We just moved into the new house, so I'll be very honest with you. I'm having some family issues on my side of the family, so I learned that the best way to enjoy Thanksgiving is to get as far away from the family as possible. It's less drama that way. You know what I mean?
On that thought, we'll continue on. Anthony, you're next. If you can put down your bomb making tools there.
Canada, they don't celebrate Thanksgiving. The Pilgrims never landed in Canada.
Yeah, but Anthony he did something.
You can't say the word bomb either, John. He's working on a flux capacity.
Was a month ago.
That's right. He didn't even try. I mean, I've got a couple of Canadian friends who had turkey last week, but you didn't even join us in a turkey.
Well, after the conversion rate, it turns to chicken.
That's true. MJ, you're up next.
I have nothing to say.
Okay, great. Mike.
Very great non-traditional Thanksgiving. We all went to a restaurant. Nobody had to cook or clean, and it was fabulous.
I envy that one because I'm the one who had to clean up after the turkey this year. So, Dan.
I went up to Boston area, celebrated with my sister-in-law and mother-in-law and all that kind of good stuff. And what did I learn? I can eat and not have to clean up. It was wonderful.
Very nice. That is a good thing. I think we're kind of got a thing going here. James, what was yours? What was Thanksgiving like?
Did all the cooking and cleaning.
Oh, man, you got the short end of the stick, my friend.
Yeah, lots of leftovers.
That's the positive side of it. Juan, we were going around. We're just kind of sharing how Thanksgiving went a little bit with that and what we learned from it. You're up next. Holy cats. Juan, we'll go to you, and then we'll go to the prettier one yet.
That's not Juan.
Somebody won.
Juan is right in the middle and the bottom now on my screen. We're going.
Juan has his mic muted.
Yeah, Juan, unmute there.
There I am. I'm sorry.
Yep.
Hey!
Yeah, I'm here. The gang's all here.
Thanksgiving.
Give us your little 30-second rundown. Go.
Thanksgiving, I had turkey, and I had peas in a can pie.
You had what?
Peas in a can pie. Pecan pie.
Oh, thank you. So that I can visualize that. Nice. So tonight, MJ, you've got some topics. We're gonna be running through some topics, but before we jump into that, we've got a big thing coming up tomorrow night. And MJ, you did the promo for these. We've got the 12 Days of Christmas starting tomorrow night. Now, how many of you guys have already gotten signed up for the drawing? Any of you signed up so far? Nice. There's a lot of cool stuff, and what we're going to do is we're going to bounce. I think we've got MJ's little promo for those of you who are out there watching it. Thank you for watching. We want to share this with you, and then we'll come right back, and we're going to talk about all the cool stuff and wondering where the Grinch went.
Disc Jockey News is celebrating the 12 Days of Christmas with 12 amazing prizes you could win. Prizes include 10 free stock digital gobos from Projectogram, 6 months online music download service from Top Hits USA, an Ultra Pin Spot light and remote from Eternal Lighting, an illuminated DJ facade from Omni Systems, an Easy Pin Pack Spotlight package from Chavez DJ, a Mega Tripar Plus Pack uplighting package from ADJ, 12 months online music download service from Prime Cuts, an iPad Mini 4 from DJ Event Planner, an MC4000 DJ controller from Denon DJ, 15 specialty video DVDs or drag and drop discs from Promo Only, 2 Laser Blade Gs and 2 Little Gs from Blizzard Lighting, and 2 EV EKX12 tops, plus a free pass to hear EV live at Mobile Beat Las Vegas 2016. To sign up, stop by DiscJockeyNews.com 12 days, and all prizes will be delivered in time for Christmas to be put under the tree. Best of luck, everyone.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that is the 12 Days sponsors. We've got a lot of sponsors. We've got about $8,000 worth of product that we're going to be giving away over the next, well, it's going to be 14 nights because we're going to skip the Saturday nights because, well, a lot of us work Saturdays, and we want to have that excitement of the drawings each week. So we're going to skip the Saturdays. We're going to actually be able to have the middle prize and the big prize on Monday night with us. So that's pretty awesome stuff. Hang on, my microphone's bothering me.
Nobody's talking at you. You guys are all so quiet.
I know they're so quiet, so I'm going to shut up for a while. MJ, now you did the promo videos for us, which you did an awesome job with those. Give us a couple of things that stood out to you during the drawing there.
Should I do it in the radio voice?
Yeah, please do. Can we all sit?
There's too much post-production in getting that voice the right way because you don't know what you can win. No, there's a lot of things that are going to fit on this for the winners. A quite broad spectrum of things. So don't think that you're just going to win hardware because you can win a subscription from several different subscription services getting music and videos and different things like that. You can get speakers, go to the opposite end, and you can get an iPad Mini 4 from somebody you could win. You can get mini tripars, the Mega Tripar pack, which is a bunch of them. What do we see? Oh, illuminated facade. I mean, for crying out loud, that's off the other end that is Omni Systems, I believe.
Yep.
So that, like I said, it pretty much covers everything and even gobos. So no matter what type of DJ you are or would like to be someday, we got you covered. This could get you started in that direction or just make what you do look better.
John stole a lot of stuff from the last DJ show.
I did, man.
It's pretty good.
I wore that big skirt that makes my thighs look a little bit large, but man, I just stuck that stuff under there.
It distracts us every time, John.
It does, but it does make me feel a little pretty though, because again, little large thighs.
Thought of it right now.
Next time we're just gonna have to peek underneath that skirt, I guess.
And that's the show, everybody. Have a good night.
And there we go.
There we
All
go.
right.
The derailment
It's a wrap.
I've been waiting
And Shaney didn't even have to come in and drop the mic for us.
for. Thank goodness.
At least we didn't talk about
There's alcohol in this thing.
So tonight, what do we have, MJ?
See, you're coming back to me. You're stressing me out tonight. Like I'm thinking. No,
You've
we
got
have four
Too much
topics-
pressure.
we have 4 topics that we're going to talk about tonight, and we are intending to amp it up over the next couple of weeks and to kind of make this show a little bit more energetic. I still like the word train wreck, and in the DJ world, that's not a good thing, but in the entertainment wise, it's a very good thing. We're looking to train wreck this, no matter what. Jer set us off tonight with the perfect little train wreck there, and we're going to keep going with this as much as we can. But we do have topics here, and one of them I brought up last week that I wanted everybody to think about, and we're going to go through everybody tonight. If you have an answer, if you don't have an answer, we'll put you towards the end. That's fine. I actually thought about my answer. It took me a while, and I come up with the answer. But the question was, since we are just getting into the Christmas season, just did Black Friday, and Cyber Monday was today, if money was not an option, what DJ thing would you get yourself? That was the question. So who do we want to start? Do we want to start with me? Do we want to start with somebody else?
MJ, why don't you start us off? Because give Arnaldo a little bit of time to think about it and a couple of the others, because a couple of the guys weren't here last week.
Okay, mine was a little tough because I'm really picky about stuff. So I said, if money isn't an object, then there are no limitations. So I want to build my own controller from scratch. I want the buttons where I want them to be. I want it to be the size I want it to be. I wanted to have the size of buttons that do the things that I want, everything like that. Motorized platters. I have a whole thing planned out as my ideal controller because nobody is even coming close to making it now. They're all a bunch of just little, you have to turn on the software and it does these things. And then I spend 6 hours every time I do a new controller remapping buttons to do what I want them to do so that I don't have to scroll through effects. I can just one button trigger. So I want things in certain areas. And John and I were talking about today that one of them, they put the shift button way down at the bottom. So if I'm as a scratch DJ and mixing, I'm using both hands all the time. So if it's down here and the button I need to shift is up there, I can't get my hand standing up between it. So that's what it is. I would just build it from scratch. I'm sorry, I'm rambling there.
Of all the things you could do, I mean, I don't want to, but to build a controller from scratch, I mean, you could like
Custom. That's the
And
key.
then sell it. I would sell it.
biggest and bestest and
I would sell it and retire. No.
But MJ, you
Mine
could
would
do
have
You know, you technically could do that without having to spend a boatload of money. Have you played with MIDI Fighter yet?
Yes, and I do like them a lot. If anybody's watching this and don't know what that is, go look at it. It's very creative.
Mhm.
It's going to take a lot, and I really think it's possible in the future, especially when I saw the one phone that I think Google's messing around with is modular. I see things could be modular in the future, but for right now, I don't know. I'm just they're lacking for what I want and lacking for what I've heard other people talk about. Oh, I mean, that's it. I've talked enough. I would put the money into getting my own special controller. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay, Arnaldo, you are at the top. We're going to start and go across the top again. What's yours?
You know, assuming money was no object, I mean, I try to keep my list slightly simple, but there's two things that we really need. One is more vehicles. You know what I mean? Obviously, I do multiple events. I need more vehicles. You know, we got lucky and we have a deal with our local truck rental center, but one day they're going to say last minute, oh, there's no trucks available, and I'm going to wish I had my own.
Yeah.
The problem is, especially here in Florida, a lot of the cargo vans that, you know, you buy, if we buy a used van, it's usually from up north and salt ate through the whole bottom of it. That's been a constant issue. Also, I need more snipers. I mean, I can't say I don't want to say I want. I need more snipers. We're starting to do more and more rental things. Same thing with like LED screens and all that. And it kills me because no matter how much we grow as a company, it feels like the need list suddenly gets bigger than the actual profit. And ultimately, my staff and my family want money. So, yeah, we need more vehicles and I need more snipers.
What are you calling a sniper?
I gotta say, well, let's clarify that.
Yes.
You're
Okay.
doing your
Yeah.
own
No. Yeah. We're not doing the
because Anthony was over there building, you know, his electronics, whatever it was, and then you're talking about sniping. Way out of hand.
So the Elation, it's the Elation Sniper 2R. It's a hybrid fixture. You have your beam. You've got your it's not really a spot. You get a beam effect. You get a scanner effect, and of course you get a laser simulator effect, which is right there. Thank you for pointing that out.
Anthony's got it right there.
Yeah, and it's really cool because I mean I've been able to do everything from a small venue to a huge, you know, some of the biggest gyms in the state with this light. But that way, all of a sudden, I'm, you know, instead of setting up multiple lights, I'm only setting up 4 of these lights, my floods, and I've got a show that can do 8 or 9 different things as opposed to having to set up 8 or 9 different types of fixtures. The problem is that, you know, right now I have like 4. I need more than 4. Now my staff wants more, school wants more. And this is great for the hotels to say, oh, yeah, you only have 4 hours to set up. That's not a lot of time when we got to set up video screens and everything else.
Quick question, Arnaldo. What is the price on the 5R? Because I think it's an incredible light. I'm just curious. What's the price on that?
Even the sniper. The sniper's a 2R, and I have no idea what map is, to be honest with you. But let's be honest. Who pays?
Because there was the Sniper 5. Was that the one they did at?
No, there's no. Yeah, it's a 2R. There's no 5R. And there's a couple reasons why there isn't a 5R yet. The main reason there isn't a 5R is the gap size. You know, and people have asked this, and Jared, I'm sure they've asked you the same thing too. You know, anybody that does lighting, well, how come this light's only a 2R or a 5R or a 15? It's not just about the brightness of the lamp, but it's the size of the gap inside, you know, that the arc does. So you want it to be a specific size so you can focus that the beam that's coming out. If you put a 15R in there, it's going to be way too bright, not to mention it's going to burn through whatever it goes through. Side story, when we were setting up for one of the trade shows, we had one of the lights focused straight down. And this happened over at one of the trade shows for ADJ and Elation too. If you keep the light focus way too tight, you're going to burn carpet. You're going to burn monitors. We've all done it at one point or another. So with the sniper, it's only a 2R specifically because of that arc size.
Wow.
I have price for you. Suggested retail anywhere between 1,000 and 1,500.
Yes.
There's 2,000 in Canada.
And I want, and that's what I say. If money was no issue, I just need a small amount, just 20 of them.
Yeah, exactly.
Only 20.
Yeah. Oh. Well, let's see. I'm going to jump in, and Anthony, you'll follow me up here since we're on the top. Mine would be almost actually. I'm giving MJ crap about doing the creative thing. I would go and look. I would love to find a short throw projector that's about 10,000 lumen that I could be using for my shows. I would like to have a projector that is so bright that I have to turn it down for some of the venues, but having that capability of having that bright as day in a short throw, so it's only about 5 or 6 feet back from the screen, would be so awesome. So if that's out there, and I haven't seen it yet, I would love to have that. Anthony.
I have 3 things. Is that okay?
3 things. Well, you're in Canada, so the exchange rate puts that down to 2.5. Go.
Wait, Anthony, you still believe in Santa, right?
I'm right here.
Martin Atomic 3000 LED.
Yep, that's a cool. We saw that. Cool
They're
light.
too bright. AV6. You can't go without a video wall. And QSC wide lines. Yeah, that's it.
That's all.
That wasn't too much. That wasn't too much. Let's see, MJ, Mike, you're right in the middle. You are Alice tonight.
Me?
Yeah. The center square?
Yes.
Okay. I can't see what you're seeing. Anyway, I would go with a truss and a 6,000K projector and some lighting. You know, some moving heads. I don't have any moving heads.
You say truss. You're not talking about a girdle, are you?
No, a real metal truss.
Wouldn't a girdle be a little hot to wear down in your part of the world? I mean, it's a little warm down.
Yeah. So that's it. Just, some lighting toys. But the projector, I'm like John. I'm running into I have a 3,000 lumens projector, and on bright days or shooting across the room, it's just it's not as bright as I would like it to be.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Dan.
Well, I'm going to go kind of outside the box like Arnaldo did. For me, I would love to have a very small warehouse and office space. One of the things that I'm finding that I lack is just kind of that taking it to the next notch. Don't really have enough just me by myself have enough to warrant actually going and buying that space. So it's just right now going to stay as a wish because money is an object right now.
For sure.
The other thing I'm going to throw out is a 4 set of the ETX to a set of the 12 tops and the 18 bottoms. They thump. I loved them. I heard them at the expo, but when I started putting together price wise what it was, I couldn't pull the trigger. But they're beautiful speakers. They sounded crisp. They sounded great. They pounded. Yeah, there's my wish list for my speakers. My wish list for my business.
It cut off. What brand did you say?
The ETX, the EV. The EV
oh, yes.
Yeah, definitely some good sounding gear there. James, you're up next.
I'm kind of on board with MJ. I'd love to get like 4 platters built into a controller. And
funny you say that. I was on the Denon forum board the other day, and somebody posted a picture of that. It was hilarious looking.
Really?
6,000 with 4 platters. It was stupid looking. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I like bigger platters, though, active platters. Like, I want the big platters like on the old Newmark, what was that turntable, CD turntable?
3,900 something or other.
Yeah, it had a full-size, like, record platter on it.
It's like either the size of a 45 or slightly bigger than a 40. Yeah.
Basically a 1,200 that never skips. That you don't get.
They made one. Techniques made their own digital
Yeah, but didn't it have some kind of latency?
But it never did anything.
Yeah.
It barely even worked.
Yeah.
If it turned on, it was a good day.
Weird looking thing.
They said it did some like real funky digital, like when you went to scratch or back, it made some really funky sounds. But honestly, if I was going to pick a brand new Sprinter. Full-size Sprinter.
Yep.
The kind you can walk into, stand up fully in. Yeah, that's my thing with a nice ramp. That'd be cool.
Also known as the new FedEx delivery van.
Yeah.
No disco ball, right?
I'd pimp mine out. Mine would definitely be pimped out.
Wow, chicka wow, wow.
Yeah,
Jeremy, you are up next. Unmute and you are on.
So I would donate all mine to the Humane Society and free all the puppies.
You suck.
What about the cats?
Yeah, what are you, a cat hater?
Let the dogs out so that they get hit by a car. I know your true intention on that.
Or is it so we can play Who Let the Dogs Out?
He's going to bring it back, man. He is bringing.
I'm just giving you the answer. I'm giving the answer to Who Let the Dogs Out. No, I think
Simon is not liking you.
I remember posting when that was out. I remember posting, if I admit I let the dogs out, can we stop playing the song?
Okay. So now we're on that topic. I've got my 10-second story with this one. Bridal show, doing sound for the walk down, and I came to the time when I needed to do the grand finale at the end, and the song was incredibly hot. It was hot on the charts. I asked the gal, "What song should we end with?" She said, "Play the top song on the charts right now." And of course, I knew that was Who Let the Dogs Out. Played that as the bridal show, or the bridal, all the gals with their wedding dresses were going down at the bridal show. Not a good idea. Okay.
Not a good idea. No, I mean, truthfully, I think what I would do is I would hire really great talent. A lot of our guys, anybody who runs a multi-op, we usually have guys that work for us on the weekends, that type of thing. I would love to invest in talent. I would love to send my guys to more education, bring more education to where I'm at. Because when it all comes down to it, that's what's making us the money, is the talent. It's not the gear. Don't get me wrong, I love gear, but it's the education, and it's knowing how to use the stuff that actually makes us money in the long run. So
let's make a note.
Santa, yeah. Great there, Santa. All right, Juan, you are next.
I would like to bring in hire Mexican midgets. Mexican midgets. That's what I want.
And
we had a bar here in Pittsburgh that had a door at the one end of the bar, and if you bought a certain shot, I'm not kidding you, they had on their staff a little person, because I don't know if midget's the right word, that would jump through the door, down the bar, give you your drink, and run back out.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But
And they're at $30 a shot, right?
It was up there.
Tequila!
I would actually like to have lots of uplighting. I don't have any uplighting, and I really would like to get into uplighting again, because I had a few before, and I don't have them anymore. So,
if you get your midgets, are you going to start a band called Juan Direction?
I would be Juan Directions.
Where's that laugh track?
Or maybe they could be little Ewoks, and you could be Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes. Juan Sanchez Kenobi.
Ole!
There you go.
Arturito.
Alrighty. So we went down that rabbit hole. Mike, you are ending our sequence here. What do you got?
Me?
There you are. Yep.
Go for it.
On what? What do we? I already said what I would get if I had unlimited budgets.
Oh,
Way to
that's
pay
right.
attention,
That's
John.
right. Oh, well, the order switched. I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
Did anybody not give their thing? Here?
Yeah, everyone should have then, because he's doing the that I can't believe it's not a girdle.
It's
Trusting.
right.
Yeah, the trust. Remember, and
I was gonna say,
the protector.
nobody under 30 even got that, so I've got to watch my jokes.
Oh well.
That's why Anthony's doing his homework. You've bored him already.
Yeah, we bored him out of his mind. He's like, the bomb's built. I just need school.
Hey, you're doing trig over there. Don't ask the math teacher, because I'm not helping tonight.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, it's not good to pick on Santa.
Bring your clock to school.
Yeah.
Wait.
So Flava Flav would have really got in trouble back then. No, I'm kidding.
Somebody who did not get a chance to express what they wanted for Christmas if budget wasn't an issue.
I think everybody did.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
Well
through.
then.
We got through everybody because Juan was there trying to offend the neighbors.
Real quick, a question for Arnaldo. It's coming from the chat board. It said, is the sniper really better choice over the warlock? What's your opinion?
They're two totally different effects on lights. If you only have $1,000, you get the warlock. If you can't use haze, you get the warlock, because the warlock will good with or without haze. The sniper, if you don't have haze, is absolutely worthless. This is pretty much true for any beam type fixture. But it depends on your budget. With 4 snipers, you could do an incredible show. But if you don't have the budget for 4 snipers, then go with the warlock. If you're trying to fill huge venues, I love the warlock, but that 2R lamp is being diffracted into multiple beams, so you're not going to fill a ballroom of, let's say, 20,000 square foot ballroom. If you're trying to hit a dance floor of, let's say, 100 by 100 dance floor, the warlock or the snipers will do great. It all depends on your budget.
Very cool. MJ, what's next on our itinerary? Unmute.
You're muted.
Next I was going to be discussing how to unmute a microphone.
Yeah, I'm running multiple. I don't want it because this mic right now, I haven't, like I told you, I'm getting different mic for this, and I don't want to keep breathing into the mic. But anyways, I'm running dual screens with multiple stuff here, and you're lucky I'm not even doing 2 cameras, so I'm doing 1, and I'm trying to get everything going on here. But this one is an interesting one, and even though, as the question is going to be asked, you're going to say, I have nothing to input in on this, but I do, and I'll explain it later, and we can come back to me if we want. And Dan is shaking his head no, and you're wrong, and I'll explain why I can help with this. More than you think I can help with this. The question that we're looking at tonight is, how can we balance this being a crazy, busy, lots of shopping, parties, family, time of year? How can we balance that out with our business life?
Who wants to jump? Let's just go rapid fire. Who wants to jump in on that one with some ideas first?
Jeremy's leaning forward. I know it's him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll start. We talked about this during the virtual expo. So I think I've got quite a bit to share from that. And again, if you didn't see the virtual expo, John, is there still a link where they can actually get to that video?
They can go to that djnvirtualexpo.com, and the videos are all broken out into the segments, so they can just watch that particular segment on balancing business and family.
Okay, so it was myself, Mitch Taylor, and Bill Herman. We were on this little panel, and we were discussing some of the things. And I think one of the biggest things is when we are with our families and when we're at home with our kids, we need to focus on that. And yes, I mean, our brides, our businesses that are calling us or texting us, whatever it is, they want answers right away. But, there has to be a point where you have to let some of that go. In today's world, people expect answers right away. But again, I mean, your kids are looking at you, watching you on your phone all the time. So, separate yourself from those things. Find time. I have a group of friends across the industry, and we've kind of made this pact where Aldo Ryan in New York, one of his goals was to spend more time with his family. So he made sure that he took his Wednesdays off, and that's the only thing that happened on Wednesdays is to be with his family. And we hold him accountable to that. So sometimes you have to, if you have a schedule and you have appointments in it, maybe you have to schedule time for your family. And that might seem like a bad thing, but really, if it allows you to be with them in that time that they deserve, then it's well worth it. And I talked about how technology pulls us away, our cell phones, they take us away from things. But Mitch Taylor actually had a really good point that it can also bring you together. So John, I know you travel a lot. I've been to a lot of the conventions this year, and it's hard to tuck your kids in at night. But if you can just reach out to them and Skype with them, or you can FaceTime with your kids to talk them in, it still allows you to be connected with them. So it is hard to balance business and family at the same time. But if you make time for your business, you also have to make time for your family. So it's definitely doable.
Other thoughts?
I'm kind of glad that you gave the answer that you did, because the last time that I was talking to somebody about this, they were literally, I think a lot of people have the unrealistic expectation that you can balance it. Like you work 9 to 5 in your office, then you go home and that's it. And the reality is, if that's what you're wanting to do, go work for somebody else, because as a business owner or operator of any kind and higher up, that's never going to happen. Likewise, when, like, for example, if it's your slow time of the year, I mean, luckily I'm in Florida, we don't have a slow time, but I would imagine up, Minnesota, nobody's doing a lot of weddings in the middle of December when there's 1 million inches of snow and it's colder than it is in Mars. But if something happens and you need money and a gig comes last minute and it happens to be on your birthday, you work it whether you want it or not. I think a lot of people have the unrealistic expectation of what a good balance is. For some people, like you said, it's 1 day off a week. For some people, they try to take that 1 day off and it's not possible. Every time that I hear somebody saying that they want to balance their, job and personal life, I just imagine Ben Stowe laughing out loud. Because if anybody is traveling all the time, if anybody knows Ben, he's traveling all the time. I don't even think his wife remembers what he looks like half the times, because he's always gone. So, it is nice that you mentioned, doing FaceTime or Skype or whatever the case may be. But I think it's one of those that you kind of have to figure out, well, what do I want to do? What do I consider balancing time? For me, I can take a day off, but then I'm in, DC or whatever the case may be, another state, doing another job. There's times where my family hardly ever sees me. And then there's days where I'm just taking 3 to 4 days off work and I say, screw it, I'm not going to show up. And then the next week I'm gone for the entire week. So, I personally have told people really try to take it on a month-to-month basis, if it's that. because depending on what your season is, one season is going to be really slow. Next season, it's going to be just busy event after event after event. And, holidays. There's some holidays I'll work. There's some holidays like Christmas, New Year's Eve, whatever. I don't mind working. Christmas, I don't care what day it is. I'm not working Christmas Eve. Thanksgiving, I try not to. Halloween, I'll work it. If I miss Halloween with my family, it's not the end of the world.
Cool. Thanks, Arnaldo. Any other thoughts?
I got one.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Stacy Zenon, website, book person, et cetera, et cetera. She went into life coaching and she needed a volunteer, and I decided to help her. And she actually helped me a lot more than I helped her. There was something that she introduced me to called the Wheel of Life. You can Google it and you'll see charts that are out there. And it not only talks about family and the topic that we're on of how do you balance it all, but there's a lot more segments to this piece of pie. Money and stress and different things. And so I highly recommend everybody Google that term, Wheel of Life, fill one of those out in your office, be honest when you shade it in. And if you have an area that's deflated a little bit, that's an area you need to work on. And it will help you to balance your entire life, not just family time versus work time. But for me personally, to answer the question more specifically, I rarely in my area have any kind of activities going on a Sunday, and yet during the week we're extremely busy both during the day and in evenings with evening appointments. So for us, it was easy to capture Sunday. And way back when in my career, I used to discount Sunday because it was a slower day and I was looking to fill it. Now I charge extra if you want to steal my Sunday, because that's the only day I have to do what I want to do, whatever that is. That's my personal day, and I do not give it up cheaply.
Go ahead, MJ. I think you're next.
I'm next.
You sure you want me to do this? Who jumped in? I thought it was you. It sounded like you.
Nope. I was still muted. Oh. I was just going to share Juan's comment that he did through the private to the rest of us. We can't do that. I don't want to do that, Juan. I'm sorry.
So I'll go off of what Arnaldo said. Sorry.
I'm saying his name, isn't it? I can't say it half the time.
You'll get it, guys.
The thing that he brought up is, as business owners, we get to make our own schedules. So also like what Mike said, if you want your Sundays off, make it happen. If you don't want to work certain holidays, which I do the same thing. I will not work over Christmas. I will not work over, Thanksgiving. I won't work over Easter. And you have to tell yourself, no, this isn't going to happen, or this is my time. It's no different than, the same thing with your evenings. If you really want that time with your family, make that time. And, you really have to dedicate yourself. And like you said, you have to say, how important is this compared to how important is this? The nice thing with our schedules, if we run our own businesses, we had 10 inches of snow that fell today. My kids got out of school. Luckily, with my flexible schedule, I could go home and be there when my kids got out. I could go pick them up from school and take care of them. So again, we see this as I always have to be taking care of my client, but you also have to look at it. I have to be taking care of my family, just find the time, and I guarantee everyone will be comfortable with what their decisions are. If you're happy with your business, focus on your business. If you love your family, focus on your family.
Well, I think keeper.
I hear a lot of what you guys are saying, and this is something that's always been kind of important to me, because with me having the full-time job, with me having the DJing on the business, it's hard to find that time. You want to be able to see exactly what's going on. You want to be able to see your kids and what they're involved in, and unfortunately we don't have, especially for those that are like me and who have the full time, you don't always have the luxury of saying, you know what, I'm going to take today off because I have to do stuff tonight, I've got 3 gigs coming up this weekend. So you know what, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, it's summertime. My kids are off from school. I'm going to take off. Now I'm lucky. I'm a school teacher. So when weather's bad, I'm home. When it's a holiday, I'm home. So I admit I have it, kind of the best that I possibly can by having the full time. and having the DJing at the same time. But when I hear these conversations, the things that I guess got to keep coming back to is, why do you do what you do? You know, why are you DJing? Now, we all say we love the event, we love music, whatever we got us into it. But basically, when it's all said and done, why are you charging money to do what you do? And it's to bring money into your family. It's to bring a better life, or whatever you want to view it as. But it's to help that improve. If you're not going to be there for them, then it doesn't matter. You know, and unfortunately, I've seen a couple of friends of mine who posted some things online, and Jason Janai, he's a great guy, but I saw him make a comment one time where his kids drew a picture and actually left him out of it, and oh my gosh, I almost started crying because it wasn't like he's not part of the family. It was like daddy's at work. Like they understood, but still, it's just like. Like I almost instantly wanted to tear up, and anytime I got to go to a meeting and I'm not there to put my son to bed at night or something like that, I go, it hurts. So I always make sure, for me, as soon as I'm home, you know, I do the quick things on email. I check those to see what I missed since I'm at my day job, and then I get home at night and just take care of what I got to take care of as fast as I can. Spend as much time with my kids, or kids in here, but take as much time as I can with them. So then that night, if I have to go out, I'm out and I'm back. But yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's like you've got to find ways to be as efficient as possible. And I think efficiency is actually the key. You know, I don't know if there's a great thing for this. If you have the flexibility to hire somebody to do some stuff, that's even better. Hire a salesperson so you can be home for the meetings, or home when the meetings are going on.
Or just stay off Facebook.
There you go. Nice.
Let's see. How can we? I can't do that. Okay, I got to bounce.
There's something else I want to put up, but I'm gonna. He's got control. Dang it.
He does have control.
You know, MJ, the only reason why, you know, I know how you can help me with my family. You never seem to have a gig on Saturday. You can come work it for me.
Ouch. You know what?
I have no idea, gang, what you guys just saw, because we went to full screen, and that means that my computer went full screen. So you probably might have seen a fragment of the screen, or you might have.
No, they can see Wooly Willy, a.k.a. Dan.
Oh, they did. Look at that. Hey, that worked out actually pretty good.
Yeah, if you move the little magnet around, you can rearrange all of Dan's hair.
You know what, though? MJ's muted. He doesn't even know it. But MJ has the hat on. We've never seen him without the hat. He's got the beard. I would surprise that that's himself.
I'm curious on why there are so many magnetic fragments down at the bottom and not being used.
Because when you get to be our age, that's what happens to them.
Yeah,
okay.
Everything goes south. Jeremy, you're only like 27, so you haven't gotten there yet. But what? A little older.
27.
No, I'm not 27.
Hey guys, I'll be right back. I gotta grab a sandwich.
49 here, and I still have all mine.
This is shaved. Yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Otherwise, Dan's got this afro thing that goes on, and you know he gets so much grief at school. You know, are you still in the 70s, sir? You know, are those bell bottoms, sir?
No, it ends up being an afro like Arnaldo.
Hey guys, let's real quick switch to my camera for a second. Let's go ahead and appreciate delicious grilled cheese sandwiches.
What kind of cheese?
Yeah, I have no idea. Monica, what kind of cheese?
Nacho cheese.
American cheese.
Nacho cheese.
Man.
While you guys have grilled cheese sandwiches, I'm going to eat some prime rib.
Yeah,
that's wedding food. That's wedding food. If I want prime rib, I'll go to a wedding. If I want a good grilled cheese, I do it at home.
Juan,
I think we've lost our focus.
Juan, is it actually eating it, or is it just kind of like just inhaling?
I'm eating it. I'm inhaling it. Yeah, you're right.
Any other thoughts before we jump on MJ? You said you had a couple of thoughts, and I don't think you've shared those yet.
And this is going to help anybody and everything if you look at it this way, because you're talking to a person that absolutely hates this time of year more than I can even begin to tell you. Okay, it is very hard on me, and a lot of people find it being stressful. Suicide rates are up this time of year. It is not as pretty as everyone puts on a face to be. So over all the years of dealing with this, I have come up with a lot of really great coping mechanisms, and they will definitely help you no matter whether it's a family situation, a work situation, whatever. Okay.
Cocaine?
What's that?
Cocaine?
No, but it does have to do with prescription drugs. No. First one for the holiday. This is specifically for the holidays, but it does help you year round. Don't put yourself in debt. You know, finances are something that people argue over a lot. So try not to do that. Think ahead before something happens. If you can, plan ahead before something happens. You know, I've had a thing where I've always done, we'll keep like, you know, if somebody gives me a tip and I don't spend the tip, I'll go home and put it in the jar or something and spend it for the future. Think of it this way for bad experiences. Don't call them bad experiences. Call them plot twists. And plot twists always make for great stories down the road. So think of it as a story that you're going to be able to laugh and tell about down the road. If it's not funny, then it's like, holy crap, this happened to me. So when you're in the midst of that, think about the plot twist. This is very important for a lot of people. Don't beat yourself up. Be nice to yourself. Google has this thing they call don't be evil, and that's how they look at everything they do. Don't be mean to yourself. And that means like if you're trying to eat healthy or exercise and during the holidays you slip, don't beat yourself, okay? Just relax. If you can't make it to someone's party that you promised you would go to, don't beat yourself up over it, okay? It's okay. If you send somebody a Christmas card, relax. It's okay. One of the more important things, and I literally have this written on my marker board, keep in mind, you can only control yourself at best. You can't control other people. You may not always be able to control yourself, but at best, you can only control yourself. So when things are out of your hands, it's going to be that way. And the final one, take a breath. It'll be over before you know it.
That's what she said.
So, John,
just because that's what Monica's told you many times, it's okay.
Ouch.
Ouch.
John, I think I would love for you to share your business/family balance, because I know again you travel a lot. So what are your thoughts? You weren't in the discussion that we had during Expo.
My thought, because we have multiple businesses and we're in multiple different places with these, is that I'm going to be a little bit different than Mitch. I know Mitch talked about the technology, being able to go and connect with his children and such, and I did that for a lot of times. But I find that for myself, it's really difficult for me to be doing that and connecting when I'm on the road, and I'm really wanting to focus when I'm on the road of doing the business. So when I'm in the business frame of mind, I want to do the business, and when I get it done, I want to be able to go home and spend the weekend with the kids and going down and having coffee drinks and not worry about the business side of it. So I kind of do things a little bit differently from that aspect of it. You know, I still check in with the kids and such, so that, don't get me wrong there, but it's not. It's more of a, you know, hey, how did your day go and such. I don't, call them at 8:30 and just tuck them in, because those are the things that I really enjoy, and when I'm on the road, I really miss. And then I will go through a kind of a funk when I'm on the road, and then that means that I'm not performing and doing what I need to do, and I'm not as spontaneous the next day when I'm interviewing Arnaldo and we're talking about the newest gear from American DJ. We got to be kind of on, and I find that if I don't shift gears, I'm not in that frame of mind to be able to do the job I need to do. So that's a big part. And then I wanted to build off one little last thing with MJ. He had his list, and there's one part that I think MJ that I would add to that. And I think it's that as I've gone over the years, I've set the expectations for the holidays, especially when it comes to a lot of the bigger family events. You always think, this is going to be the greatest, and it's going to be all, and we're going to have aunts and uncles, and we're all going to get together, and it's going to be this one, and you're putting this experience of what it's going to be way high. And then
it's my cousin.
It's the reality of the situation. Sometimes the expectations just are exceeding what actually happens. So
John's giving us some serious deep advice, and y'all.
You guys are all going the other direction, and of course I have you all on.
It's a good derail though, because we want more derailments.
So that would be my only thought is as a kid you're expecting the BB gun under the tree, and instead you get the wash and dry Ken doll, so
no, the pink Barbie, the pink bunny suit.
But I
Or
couldn't remember.
Barbie dolls for MJ. I mean,
I knew that was coming. I was waiting for that to come. Seriously, let's
just go there. Okay, MJ, what's our next topic?
It's a quick one. We're going to do this one in fire rounds, the fast round. You're just going
Nice.
to hammer out things here. And it's almost together with the last question because I told John they kind of go together. What would you tell the younger you, like when you first started DJing about that time? What advice would you give the younger you? Wow.
Anthony, what would you tell your 12-year-old self?
Run, Forrest, run.
So I'll
Go ahead.
start with this one too, because it actually goes back to if I had all the money in the world, what would I invest in? And I didn't start going to education until about 3 or 4 years ago, and it was the entertainment experience was my first workshop I ever taken. It really opened up my eyes to what I could do, what I could create, and not just in performance, but also in the lighting design and designing a whole wedding or an event, because it gave everything purpose. And you look back, I mean, I've been doing this for 19 years, and for the last 16 years before I even started education, it's like I was doing the same exact wedding over and over and over. I wasn't really focusing on what that event was making it special. I wasn't giving it I wasn't giving it the detail that it needed, and I wasn't really listening to the client. All I knew is the client wanted a first dance, father, daughter, son, mother, and a bridal party dance, and then maybe a dollar dance, and maybe this, maybe that. But there wasn't anything that really helped me separate their event. And I think if, I have guys that I hire on, and the first thing I tell them is, you're going to go get education. I said, that's the one thing. If I could do it all over, I would have started education a lot sooner. I think there's a lot more education opportunities out there now. But, you look at Mark Farrell, you look at Peter Mary, you look at Randy Bartlett, you look at Bill Herman. I mean, some of these guys are renowned entertainers, and they're providing education. When I started, it wasn't as easy to find. And I think, John, we've got a lot of a lot of cool things coming up with IDGNA. And, that's some of those things that it's out there, and we want to share that information. We want to get people educated because we want people to be doing the right thing as DJs and not going in there hoping they're doing the right thing. So, I mean, again, it all comes back to I would go get education.
Seconded.
Real quick, I want to kind of go off on what you said. This is possibly the biggest mistake. I mean, it's a mistake, and it's not that I made. And I feel I set myself back financially more than anything else. When I left high school, I went to college, and the college that I chose, I specifically chose that one over the trade school that I wanted because my guidance counselor, in high school, they have a counselor that helps you pick the right college. And they're like, no, you don't want to go to this school. You want to go to this one. This is a better school. It costs more money, but you'll make it through. Honestly, I hated it. First of all, it was a liberal arts school, so I had to take a bunch of topics that I didn't want. And I went for business. And halfway through, I'm like, okay, hold on a second. So I'm going to get a certificate to do the same thing that I'm doing right now. So I wasted not just my time. Not only did I waste a scholarship that I could have given to somebody, somebody else could have taken, but I put myself back financially with student loans. I mean, student loans that I was still paying up till, almost a couple of years ago. I'm still paying off one of the student loans. And if I could go back right when I said, I'm going to attend this college, I would go back and slap myself so hard. And I'm not saying don't go to college, but everybody has a different path in life. And, I told this to my kids. I feel like the schools and society pressure, you have to go to this college. You got to go to 4-year college. Some people were never meant to go to college. Some people, trade school is better for them. Some people are out to be business owners. And if you don't find the education path that's going to work for you, all you're going to do is throw money and time out the window. And I feel like that's what I did. Also, I would tell myself from like 10 minutes ago that when my wife asked me how many sandwiches I want, I probably would have done one less because there's a pretty filling.
I'll take it.
I'll go ahead and ship this over.
Yeah, just.
You might get a little cold on the way.
To Canada.
I think for me, there are a couple things I would tell myself. First off, I would tell myself that, when you're wanting to be a DJ, it's fine. And you don't have to necessarily be a radio DJ. That's what I started in. That's what I liked. I enjoyed it. I saw the writing on the wall. Unfortunately, after I got my degree, after I was working in it for a couple of years, that it just was very unstable and just either had to move a lot or you make no money or a combination of both. But I would teach I would tell myself, listen, you can do this as a full-time career. There are people out there that are doing that. That was something I had never experienced, had never even really run into until either a couple things on Facebook. And even at that, then I was like, oh, those are guys that work in big cities. That's why they can do it. And then, I go to expos and I start talking to people. I'm like, oh, you live in a town about the size of mine and you can do this. Okay. So it can be done. And I think maybe I would have done that because I would have set myself at a time in my life where I was a little more willing to take the risk and a little bit easier to take the risk. And now I have a family, not saying you can't do it, not saying there's guys who don't do it and are very successful making that leap. But for me, I like that full-time job too. So it's not, I don't know. I say sometimes where I'd love to go full-time if I could. And then other times where I'm like, oh, I love my full-time job and I'm glad that I do this part-time. And it is what it is. I guess maybe that I'd also tell myself, listen, just things are going to be okay.
Ooh, somebody's mic is on. For myself, I think I would go back and because I would be going back to before a lot of this training and all this was available, I'd probably go back and recommend to myself to dig into Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar was really one of the first ones that I ran across as I was driving back from a gig at a truck stop, and there was no radio reception. We were coming out of North Dakota, nothing there, and there was some CDs there, and one of his discs was there. So I bought it because I didn't have anything else that was available to listen to beyond music, and I didn't want to listen to music. And it opened up a whole new world to me back in the 90s with that. And I guess if I could go back, that would probably be as I would have moved that up about 10 years. Even as a high school student, it would have been nice to have that thought process introduced to a person at that stage.
Dave Ramsey
the audio thing. Dave Ramsey would be another thing that I would go back and. I mean, luckily I started that when I was about 25. But if I could start that even when I was 18 and start investing, I mean that would have made a huge difference in where I'm at today. So yeah, I mean Dave Ramsey is another good one if you're looking to keep yourself out of debt, really financially plan your future. That's also a great option.
I thought Zig Ziglar was the stuff that people wrapped cigarette,
No.
Close.
That's zigzag.
Had to go there. Derailment.
Yeah, derailment.
Another X on the list.
Yeah.
Again, John giving us great information, and then you guys just throw it out the window.
I'm holding back tonight.
Zig Ziglar is a awesome motivational, or was a awesome motivational speaker. And one of the books that Randy Bartlett raved about was "See You at the Top."
Yep.
And I ordered a copy of it, and I'm the world's worst reader. So I own the book. It's sitting on my bookshelf, but I've yet to read it. But it is on my to-do list.
My favorite, and I've got many Ziglar books. My favorite one is he did a Success for Dummies book. And it's a quick, easy read. It's little snippets, and for a DJ, it's a perfect book because it's little things to read. So you can go and you read a couple of them, and it's like, hey, that's pretty cool. And things, in some cases, you can apply. Some things, it's just a mindset. But I would recommend if a person wanted to dig into something, it's not a sit down and read the whole chapter type of person.
How many pictures does it have?
Quite a few, actually. That's what makes a DJ appropriate.
It comes with crayons, so you're good.
I like looking at pictures.
Is there an audiobook read by Gilbert Gottfried that I could listen to?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
You should be successful.
Who hasn't chimed in?
Anybody else have some thoughts on this?
I didn't chime in. Mine, I could give 1,000 pieces of advice that's not even funny, and I went over most of them so far. But the answer that I came up with to give tonight is a paradox. Besides telling myself win the lottery, I would either tell myself don't work a day job or never start DJing, and I haven't decided which I want. Because DJing, and I'm being honest here, has ruined music for me. And DJ, you can't listen to music anymore because every time you hear a song, you're thinking what you normally mix into it, what you could mix into it, or what it sounds like. And it just, your head gets so jumbled with music. I mean, it's horrible. And I DJ a lot of top 40, and I'm not a fan of top 40. So when I'm not listening to, DJing, I don't want to hear those songs. So it's kind of ruined it for me. But in the same sense, like you guys were talking about, I'm running my own business. So if it's a nice day out and I look at the work I have to get done for that videos for John, I can go, if I get them done Monday and Tuesday, I can go ride the motorcycle on Wednesday, and that's a benefit. So it's a paradox. I really don't know at this point, which
not to mention your bills are probably paid too.
That's the funny thing. Again, back to the point about being out of debt. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying how much easier it makes life for you. Right now, aside from my monthly bills, my only debt is my house. I own my car and my motorcycle, no credit cards, nothing. And that really frees you up. And this is something I told you that, about earlier about peace of mind, that young people should hear about that. You don't need to get that credit card. You don't need that stereo in the car. You don't need any of that. It will free you up to be able to chase your dreams so much you can't even believe.
It's good advice.
Yeah, very good advice. That would be a great lesson. I think all of us would have loved to have told our younger self along that, because we all made that mistake.
But John, just a quick here. Oh, Jesus! Earlier this year, Jeremy even mentioned about the Dave Ramsey. There was a Dave Ramsey article that was run in the Disc Jockey News, which talks about getting yourself out of debt. And I actually photocopied it for a friend of mine, and he started that plan. I forget what month it was, but I know it's been within the past year.
Yeah. Yep.
7 steps, and you can do it. You can get out.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah.
You know that was copyrighted, right? I'm kidding.
I didn't say it.
That's okay. They don't watch our show anyway, so.
You know what else is copyrighted? Woolly Billy, but you didn't see him stop it.
MJ, we've got about 5 minutes left. Do we have anything quick yet?
We got one, and I don't know if you want to do it or not. It's up to you guys, and I'll just chime in on this and let you guys do whatever you want to. If you would have asked me, 5 days ago, are albums dead? I would have said yes. Albums have been dead for years. It's probably been 15 years or more since I bought an album. Nobody I know buys albums. They buy singles or remixes. But apparently I was wrong with Adele dropping over 3.4 million sales on that album. So your thoughts on albums in the future? And when I say album, I don't necessarily, a lot of people think a record or a CD. It's just album by definition means a collection of songs. So dead, alive, in between, what?
Real quick, there was also 3.4 million breakups that same day too. So.
Well, again, back to the Christmas statistics, they say about surviving Christmas is that there are more couples that break up right after Thanksgiving than any other time of year because of, and I'm not kidding, there's a lot of dudes that are really shallow and don't want to buy gifts.
Oh, exactly. It's a cost saving. You do that before Christmas and before Valentine's Day.
Yeah. Before I chime in, I got to ask, why did Adele cross the road?
Oh, no.
So she could say hello from the other side.
Oh.
Where's that?
I can't take credit. I can't take credit. I'm sorry.
He's been
get focused here. I'll answer MJ's question. I'm one of those people that I really appreciate an artist, and I will buy the whole CD or I will buy the whole MP3 tracks. Again, when you truly love the artist that you listen to, then it's kind of your way of supporting them. But then also, instead of buying one track for $1.29, another one for $1.29, another one for $1.29, another one for $1.29, you might as well buy the whole thing for $8 and own the entire album. So I don't think albums are really going out. I think you see a lot more compilation albums as well, like the now 427 or whatever they're at.
Yeah.
But I don't think album purchases will ever go anywhere.
And I think it's kind of I think the whole album thing, though, is kind of a lost part of our kind of lexicon. I remember as a kid, my father was a big Beatles fan, and I remember the cool day of sitting there and listening to Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band from beginning to end. And in my mind, those songs, what follows that song up? Well, that song, it always, and my kids don't know what that's like. They don't know that feeling of an album, playing it from beginning to end. And even when you listen to Mike Walter, you're watching him type and talk about an album and such as he goes for a run. It's just foreign.
It's funny that you mentioned that too, because, and again, I don't know if you guys noticed, I do a lot with the youth market, and it used to be, years ago, they would come up, it's like, hey, do you have Lil Wayne's or Juvenile's, whatever, or even the album name, 500 Degrees, and you have the fourth track. I can't remember the name. That's how it used to be. At least for me, half the kids, they had short attention spans. They don't remember the names of the songs, but they remember the track numbers and their favorite album.
Yep.
Nowadays, then it used to be where they would give you their iPod. Hey, can you play this track? And it used to be all singles. Now, people still hand you their iPods, but I noticed that it's no longer the music part of the iPod they're showing. It's either a YouTube remix that they saw or it's streaming. And yes, unfortunately, albums are on their way out as far as individual albums. Part of the reason is because unless it's a legitimate artist, if it's one of these recyclable crap, it's usually 2 or 3 good tracks and the rest is all filler. And honestly, this has plagued the music industry since a long time ago, not just with today's music. But I see more and more people doing streaming stuff. I see more and more unknown people making remixes of popular stuff, and people are downloading it or playing it off YouTube. So I think that it's, with today's age, today's day and age where everybody wants on demand, they want it right then and there, and customization. Yeah, the albums are still there, but it's albums and playlists that people make themselves. That's why YouTube playlists. You do a lot of stuff with YouTube, John and MJ. So you guys know, the YouTube playlists are on the rise. People are making their own playlists. Their favorite artists, they turn it into an album, then they download the whole damn thing on YouTube to MP3, and then they put it on their phone.
Well, some people are making a great business out of that, Arnaldo, because they can do some monetizing of their playlist. Yep. And there's actually a one person that we were talking about in a YouTube event we were doing, and that person's making like $10,000 a month just because they have a couple of playlists that are high on the search engines. No original content, just making playlists of other people's content. So,
wow,
yeah,
crazy.
It's like a DJ.
Really is.
The one thing that's always going to help albums, and this is something
what a
that
DJ is, just someone who plays songs, nothing else, right? Go ahead, Dan.
What I was saying was one of the things at this time of the year is case in point. I think albums are always going to slightly be there because, you run into this issue at Christmas time or in Hanukkah, whatever, when they go to give the gift. It's hard to give it digital. And I know some are giving iTunes gift cards and things like that to be able to kind of coincide it. But that was one of the things where I was listening to an artist talk today where they were getting feedback. Somebody was like, "Oh, your album's only available digital. Aren't you going to make an album? We want to be able to give this to somebody." And he's like, "Sorry,
that's got to be an older person saying that."
Download it and burn it to a CD.
And that makes James older too.
How many people do you guys know that still have a CD player?
I have some
in the car.
The truck has one.
Yeah, I have them.
Yeah, but you know what?
I have not played a CD in a car in probably 10 to 15 years.
And there's cars that don't even come with CD players nowadays.
Yeah.
They all come with attachments to the phone. That's what my car is right now.
Okay, let's keep bridging here. Speaking of phone, did you guys see that the announcement today that Apple is thinking about dropping the headphone jack on their cell phone?
Yes.
How is that going to change our world as DJs?
Wait, what?
They're going with a
iPhone
single
sales
plug,
go.
like a charge and a thing. It's an all one.
Yeah.
So basically, like a laptop.
The USB-C.
I don't know if they're using the USB-C. They're talking about it. I don't know. I just think it's a simple gimmick. Apple are geniuses when it comes to marketing, and they're getting your attention right there, whether they do it or not.
Yeah,
throw it out there.
And that would be my advice to myself, since I didn't get a chance to comment. Buy Apple stock.
Yes.
Buy Apple stock.
True story. I had a friend from high school that in the early 90s bought $5,000 worth, I think it was $5,000 or $2,000, I think it was, of Microsoft stock in the early 90s. And I haven't seen him in years, and I'm just so curious what it's worth, if he sold it, if he kept it. I just thought that was, I keep thinking of him like, really?
Going back to your comment on Apple and dropping the headphones, or dropping a headphone port. Right now, the first comment for everybody is usually that's ridiculous, that's stupid. But let's go back years ago when the actual Apple-shaped iMac came out. Steve Jobs got on his Steve Note thing and said, the floppy disk is dead. And we're like, Steve's being ridiculous. The floppy disk is long-lived. Not even a year later, floppy disks were dead. He said the same thing about Flash. Remember when he called Mac or Adobe at that point, they said they're lazy developers. They haven't come up with any original content. Flash is a disease, and we're all going to drop it. 3 years later, even Google has dropped Flash and Chrome, for Chrome support. And the same thing with CDs. So I almost feel like Apple it's to the point Apple says this is dead and it immediately dies because they've got their hooks with all these companies. Look at Thunderbolt being a huge major player. Thunderbolt was already in development before Apple jumped in, but because they got in with Intel. Now everybody has, well, not Thunderbolt, but
they're getting away from the Thunderbolt. But here's exactly what he's saying, putting myself into it, because like I said, I'm really a person about technology, and it comes to like the whole, like you said, the whole album thing. I'm very progressive on that, and I don't use my port on my phone anymore.
Yep.
My Bluetooth headphones, and that's all. I never plug headphones into it ever anymore. So maybe they're right. Maybe they're right.
I think the only time I've used the port on my phone is doing a speaker. If I'm doing a test on a speaker and I just want to do something quick and dirty without, they make the full board.
I use my iPhone all the time for ceremonies, and it's just quick and easy and no big deal. But the Bluetooth would be a problem for me because my speakers aren't Bluetooth capable, so I'd have to buy new ones. And then secondly,
I have an adapter that's about this big.
I'm not a big fan of keeping Bluetooth running on my phone because it drains the battery so much quicker.
If you have an iPhone, it hasn't been too bad now. I run Bluetooth all the time because of my watch, and I haven't noticed much of a difference nowadays.
Yeah, the Note 4, and I run both the watch and the car at the same time, all the time. And that's the thing we're talking about developing in the future, not only as that technology of the Bluetooth and all the stuff advances, so where the battery's going to advance.
Yeah.
So then you're right. I recant my head shaking, finger shaking.
Can I just make one request? If maybe somebody from Apple one day watches this, have you noticed that whenever you want to take a photo of something right then and there, like it could be a UFO, the camera manages to freeze right at that very moment, and you never get it to launch until after whatever you wanted to take a photo of goes away?
No, that's just your phone. They don't like you.
That's just you.
I'm
Yeah.
waiting for them, and a friend of mine has a phone that has one, and they need to make more that have a flash on the front for the selfies.
That would be nice.
They do.
That would.
They do, but they need to do that more.
I'll be more impressed with technology when there's an undo button on an elevator. Guys, I'll let you think about that for
like
a
the turn signal in the car that will shut off when you turn, but if you don't turn, the turn signal doesn't shut off.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's let Apple fix their chargers first.
Okay. One last thought before we wrap up. And we're gonna bring this back to Adele, guys. I know this wasn't, but are you guys as sick of that song already as I am?
I haven't heard it
I
yet.
purposely turned it off the first couple times because I knew it was going to get big. You just.
Well, I'm playing 100% of the time. I'm playing a remix, and I can't even tell you what remix. I have to look it up. So I've never played the original, and probably never will play the original. So
Yeah, I'm sure you've got something with a little beat behind it where.
see if I can find it here. The name of it. I'm not gonna play it because we'll get in trouble when we play it.
Yeah, it'll be. Yeah. Anyway.
I keep having nightmares that Adele and Taylor Swift date the same man, break up, and then do a collaboration.
Oh,
Uppermost remix. So if you want to look at what I'm playing, go look at the Uppermost remix. That's what it's called, Uppermost remix. I don't even know how many BPM it is.
Cool.
It's 130, 128 or 130. You know that's what it's got to be.
Anthony, we can't see what you're.
Yeah, we can't see
showing.
what you're showing there. It's looking just like a line. Yeah.
Turn the iris down.
The brightness of the phone doesn't help.
Yeah, it's too.
Your camera iris is too hot.
I shall Facebook message it to you, and then you can put it up.
Yeah. Oh, we're gonna wrap things up. We are after 8:30 here, and we need to move along. Tomorrow night, some of us will be back tomorrow night. Some of us will be back throughout the next 14 days to do the nightly drawing at 9:00 Eastern. We're going to be doing. Notice I said Eastern, guys, for those of you out on the East Coast.
The only time zone that counts.
The only time zone that
Amen.
counts. Thank you. Yeah, that's right. 9:00 Eastern tomorrow night. We're going to be starting off tomorrow night. Our first prize item is from Projectorgram. I think it's 10 gobos.
It
Yeah.
is 10 free stock digital gobos from Projectogram.
And that's our drawing for tomorrow
It's
night.
Christmas.
So if you guys haven't signed up yet, you can go out to discjockeynews.com/12 days. The number 12 days. And you can sign up and you'll be in the drawing. Now, if you happen to see this later in the week, you can still sign up because every night we have prizes, and we're going to be concluding on our Monday night show with our final prize, which will be the 14th, December 14th. We're skipping the Saturdays, and we're going to be giving away the Electro Voice sound system that night right here on the show. So that's going to be
promotion. The Rewind Report because of Disc Jockey News, is also giving some stuff away. So stop over and on the discjockeynews.com website and check that out too. You can win some more stuff.
Yeah, that's we got, and we'll put those links. We'll get that all in the description below, so you guys can check that out because there's links going left and right and back and forth, and great stuff.
I'm
And-
also giving away a battery, so I'd like to donate to the prize pool.
Nice, nice. That's a pretty sexy
it
battery.
used?
I'll throw in chapstick, slightly used.
I can see your battery and raise you.
How about Nickelback's greatest hits?
Wow, there's something that we.
Single. That's a single then, right?
Universal screwdriver.
I do have one of those things you just held up there. That's part of my collection. And for those of you who don't know, I have some very odd and unusual records. Those are some very dip discs. Go
Real
look-
quick, can we stream Anthony plugging whatever the hell he's making online? I really want to watch the Three Stooges.
What?
when he blows something up, or
I'm not opening back up.
what we'll do next week is we'll grab that video clip of when Clark Griswold lights up the house, and then that's probably what it's going to look like in Nova Scotia here next week.
Hold on, Anthony, hold that up again.
It's a flux capacitor.
No, see that right there. That is the reason all the damn dinosaurs got loose in Jurassic Park, because he unplugged the thing and took it with him. Thanks a lot, Anthony. You killed
Yes,
millions.
thanks for the spoiler. Thanks.
Great. Now we're not going to watch.
You know how you make a
They made
pair
the
of
mistake
wire,
and went to Australia.
you know how you make a pair of wire cutters and a pair of wire strippers? Cut into a live wire.
Hey, not wire strippers, wired go-go dancers. Okay, please.
I was gonna say, they preferred the term there.
On that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up. Thank you guys for watching tonight. If you like the shows, we'll be back again next Monday night at 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern, and we'll be back and we'll be giving away our prize. I don't remember what next, but you can go out to discjockeynews.com, 12 days, and there you can see the whole list of prizes and everything and the sponsors, because our sponsors have been really awesome. But tomorrow night, we'll see you at 9 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Gosh, I'm going to mess it up. Everyone, we need to take our closing
8
picture.
o'clock Eastern.
Just don't log off. Stay on this channel until 24 hours from now.
Exactly.
There you go.
What are we doing tomorrow night, by the way?
We're
Take it over the
Day
world.
one.
We're going to do drawing night 1, but right now we all need to look at our cameras and be presentable so we can get our picture. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, and there's our screen. Oh, God.
All right. Yay.
When are we
Put my MJ
doing,
face.
when are we doing the session on coping with ADD? I don't think a lot of DJs have really attended that one yet.
No. Yeah, I'm glad we're not
We can't-
Oh,
represented.
it's a serious problem for me.
It's a seminar for ourselves. What are you talking about?
Don't forget your Christmas medicine, everyone.
Yeah, exactly. This is John Young with the Disc Jockey News and Disc Jockey News TV, and MJ. We are kind of running the cats around tonight with a little circus action. Thanks for watching.
We should all harmonize.
Yeah, good
We'll all
night.
see our families now.
Where's it at?